You have to experience it for yourself to understand that feeling. This one feels the most refined among them all. Alright, so now it's time for the main party trick, which is the 0 to 100 test. Until a few years ago, pickup trucks were considered to be some of the coolest cars in the world. So much so that the Ford F-150 was the best-selling vehicle globally for decades. Pickups represented size, confidence, and a certain kind of swagger. But then, times changed, the industry changed, and technology became the new cool, and efficiency took over excess. Now, BYD has brought a silent solution to bring back that pickup swagger with this. This is the BYD Shark 6, and at a price of 158,000 dirhams, this goes squarely against the Ford Ranger. We brought it to the desert in this cloudy and windy weather to find out if the Shark can truly devour a Raptor. This is BYD's first serious step into the lifestyle pickup space. And if you ask me, I'd say that it's a clever segment to target, because buyers here tend to be more open-minded. And this is exactly where trucks like the Ford Ranger have found success globally. And make no mistake, this isn't a half-hearted attempt. Let's start with the exterior design. It's bold yet sharp. The C-shaped LED headlamps add a sense of familiarity. The full-width light bar gives it a modern signature, and the large BYD lettering across the grille makes it clear that this truck wants to be noticed. Moving along the sides, the BYD Shark 6 really begins to show the size. Long proportions, tall stance, and a wide footprint gives this strong road presence that is a must-have with mid-size pickups. But if you look close, there is one detail that seems a bit off. BYD offers 18-inch highway tires as standard with the Shark 6, which for a truck of its size feels slightly underwhelming. Now, I do understand that the reason why they might have gone with 18-inch tires would be in favor of better range. I feel like the entire look would have been elevated if it was, say, 20-inch tires. But again, you also have that option to do that yourself once you buy it. You can also fit it with all-terrain tires. That'll definitely make it look a lot more aggressive. At the back, the tail lamp design stays simple but distinctive. The tailgate in itself feels solid and reassuringly heavy. But opening it just takes a press of a button. Here you will also find a ladder that would help climbing into the bed for loading or unloading goods a lot more convenient. Since the BYD Shark also features vehicle-to-load capability, you'll also find charging outlets here that can power electrical appliances when you're out camping. And because the Shark 6 is built on traditional pickup fundamentals like a ladder frame chassis, the aftermarket potential is wide open. The Shark 6 is claimed to be capable of towing up to 2.5 tons, which comfortably puts it in line with most lifestyle-focused mid-size pickup trucks. Now when you step inside, it's very straightforward. You get two displays up front, one 10.25-inch display for the instrument cluster, and you have a 12.35-inch display that takes care of the infotainment duties. Now, in the previous generations, you were able to swivel the screen to make it portrait as well as vertical, but on the newer generations, that's not a feature that you get. As with most of the modern cars, the infotainment system acts as the main control hub, while also offering wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. From the steering wheel, you can also control the media, adjust the cruise control system, and select both the drive modes and terrain settings, giving you easy access to all the major controls without having to take your hands off the wheel. Aside from that, the whole material that's used here is synthetic material. It's more in favor of durability, but it doesn't feel any less premium as compared to genuine leather. You also get that leather finish on the steering wheel as well. And when it comes to the seating position, it's very tall, and you get a very commanding look over the bonnet as well, giving you a clear view of the roads. Most importantly, you get a design that's inspired by fighter jets, and the gear knob is shaped like the throttle lever in aircrafts. I think that's a very cool touch. The full features list is on your screen now for a better understanding. In terms of space, the cabin feels generous. There's plenty of headroom up front and in the rear, and the rear seat legroom is more than adequate for adult passengers on longer journeys. There's also ample amount of space throughout the interior to ensure that you stay hydrated. The seats themselves are trimmed in durable synthetic upholstery, designed to handle daily wear and tear while still feeling comfortable and premium to the touch. Overall, it's an interior that prioritizes usability and comfort with just enough design flair to remind you that this isn't a conventional pickup cabin. And that's about it when it comes to the interior. Now, enough talk. Let's give you a feel of what driving this car is all about. Alright, so before we start talking about how the car feels when you're driving it, let's talk about the drivetrain for a minute. So the BYD Shark 6 is basically a plug-in hybrid. What that means is it's got both a petrol engine and two electric motors that power the wheels. The petrol engine is a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine that basically acts as a range extender. In electric mode alone, the car can do a claimed range of 100 kilometers. But with the help of the range extender, you get a combined range of over 800 kilometers. Now that is more than sufficient for an average person. Now when it comes to how the car feels, well, it drives just like an electric car. So you get all the benefits of it as well, like instant acceleration and convenience when it comes to the ease of driving. So the steering is very light and it is very easy to handle even when you're driving in the city. Now, even though the car has got old school technology like being built on a ladder frame chassis and coil suspensions, it still feels very modern because even when you push it through a corner, there is very little body roll and it feels very stable and planted. Now, the one thing that was evident throughout my experience with the car was the fact that among all the other Chinese cars we've tested, this one feels the most refined among them all. When it comes to the power, the BYD Shark demolishes the Ford Ranger. This thing is claimed to produce 430 horsepower and 650 newton-meters of torque. Alright, so now it's time for the main party trick, which is the 0 to 100 test. Alright, so we put the car into sport mode, turn the traction control off, left foot on the brake, right foot fully smashed, and 3, 2, 1, lift off. And 100. Alright, so after doing that test a couple of times, we've averaged about 6 seconds. So it's not too far off from the claimed time, which is 5.7 seconds. But the feeling you get with that instant acceleration is something that cannot be explained. What's impressive here is not just the outright pace, but how easy the Shark 6 is to live with on the road. The ride quality feels well judged. It absorbs the rough surfaces comfortably without feeling floaty. And the suspension does a good job masking the weight of the vehicle. Braking performance feels confidence-inspiring even after repeated hard runs. I do want to make it clear that the Shark is capable of being driven on multiple terrains, not just sand, but our testing for now is limited to the sand. So before we set off, we reduce the tire pressure to 14 psi and we've set the terrain mode to sandland mode. This should help us sail through the sand effortlessly. So you don't get multiple options like controlling the diff lock or a dedicated low-range gearbox. Everything is controlled electronically by the systems, and to be fair, it is doing a marvelous job keeping the traction control in check, and at the same time, it also lets you slide around. The BYD Shark 6 comes with a respectable 31-degree approach angle, a 19.3-degree departure angle, and up to 17 degrees of breakover angle, giving it the ability to tackle challenging terrains without constantly having to be worried about scraping or grounding out. Overall, the Shark 6 doesn't give you a traditional pickup experience. It's a hybrid pickup for a new generation. Comfortable in the city while also being equally capable on the rough terrains. This car is designed to make everyday driving feel easy and not a chore. Alright, residents of Dubai, we apologize for the dust storm we've created. But as the day comes to an end, it does look like BYD has indeed produce a very capable product. The BYD Shark can handle both the paved and unpaved roads very gracefully while being economically friendly. Now that brings us to the powertrain. This car offers the best PHEV experience I've ever had so far. As you can see, the location we've chosen is quite symbolic because, like the bridge above us, this car is also a bridge between ICE-powered cars and electric cars. Now, having said that, this is not the first car we've tested with a range-extended technology. That was the Deepal SO7. Now, we'll link that video here for you to check it out if you're interested. But unlike the Deepal, the BYD somehow feels more complete. Now, to answer the question we asked in the beginning of the video, having spent the entire day with the Shark, it does come across as a most sensible option for buyers who are looking for a car that's an alternative to the Ford Ranger. Now, on that note, it is time for us to end. If you've stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. Until we see you next time, this is Philip signing off.